And you can start.
Okay. So salam alaikum again and sawadee krap. Sawadee krap is in Thailand, so maybe we can try it. So for the men it's sawadee krap, and for the female it's sawadee ka. Can we try this together? So we just say sawadee krap.
สวัสดีครับ
ค
ส
รับ
วัสดี
ค
ครับ
รับเป็นครับ
You know what this
Sawadee
is? I always have this here with me. Can you see them here? Because I can't hear you. I really cannot hear you. Can you say again? What was it?
ครับ
Sawadika. Sawadika.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Shahid, for this kind introduction. Unfortunately, I'm German born, so I have no sense of humor. I don't know how this information came to you that I'm humorous, because Germans, well, you know, they have no sense of humor, and they have a sense of timing, maybe. But myself, living for 15 years in Thailand, maybe I lost my sense of timing as well. So expect the worst. So welcome to our session on entrepreneurial mindset. And yeah, I'm not a fan of slides, but I would like to share some slides with you as well, if I'm still capable to do this. In COVID, we were always on Zoom, and now we are not anymore on Zoom. So maybe to introduce myself first, with Stamford University in Thailand, we are, I have to say, the most international university in Thailand. We have 40% of our students are Thai, half of them from family business background. 15% are half Thai, so one parent is non-Thai, and 45% are foreigners from more than 100 countries. So when we have a classroom, we have always 10, 20, 30 nationalities in the classroom. We have also 15 full-time students from Pakistan, and a Pakistani group at our university. And the relationship between Thailand and Pakistan is very special, because we have a specific treaty with Pakistan. So there is a rising collaboration with Pakistan. And myself, being German born, as I said, Germany had the benefit of the courtesy of Thailand after the Second World War, because Pakistan gave a huge loan to Germany and was very important in building the German economy. So that was a very, very strong part of Pakistan. So let me share some slide if I'm still able to do it. And now I'm at a loss. Where is it? Please bear with me a second.
Bottom there will be share button green.
Here we go. Should be now. So yeah, so Stanford International University, as you can see it on the screen, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yes,
we can see.
Yes, you can see.
So you can read the Yuhu Education. So Stanford was bought some years ago by Yuhu Education, a Chinese education company owned by Chairman Lee, stock listed at Hong Kong Stock Exchange, and we are the only foreign investment. When it comes to our faculty, 20% are Thai, and the rest are from more than 20 countries. So that's a bit about Stanford in short. So we want to talk about entrepreneurship. Quickly, as an introduction, what is entrepreneurship? It is the hashtag to think and to act on opportunities, to allocate resources, and to create economic and social value. Whether you are entrepreneur or intrapreneur, whether you start a company or whether you are employed as an entrepreneurial employee, as an intrapreneur. So please, in this session, interrupt me at any time. Please ask ask again and continue asking. So these little, these little things here, they are here to listen to you and to shout out. So I would like you to shout out in our WhatsApp group where I'm luckily a part of now since for an hour or so. So can you please just give your ask into the group? What are you interested in? What are you expecting? Or just say hello. So if you are willing to, and I'm here with my mobile as well, and I can see what you are talking, or just speak up now. So what is your ask? What is your ask today? What you're interested in? Because I'm happy to adjust to your needs. You can also write in the chat, just a second. So I need to go with the chat as well. You're interested in management consulting.
Dr. Hans, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
If you are open to questions, I would like to ask a question. I'm
Please.
Rashid Mahmood from Pakistan. I'm currently in Karachi. Otherwise, I am based in Lahore.
Okay.
So I just read your amazing message on WhatsApp group in which you talked about entrepreneurship mindset, and there was a thing which I wanted to ask. You talked about the craft of coding, right? And
Yeah.
technology and artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask that for the people who are not from tech background, who are not techies, who are not from computer science background, in this changing world where technology is into every business and every startup, and it's part of every conventional business now. So, before starting any entrepreneurial journey, should we go for coding skills first, some technical skills, or what is your say about it? How necessary it is to be conversant with the tech skills in this era, especially?
I'm happy to share also my personal journey when it comes to tech. Today we have two major parts which disrupted the world in COVID, and we expected this change to be there in 5 to 10 years, and it's now. There are two elements which we need to consider in each and every company. One is the keyword sustainability, and the other word is digitalization. And if you look at digitalization, it started with, the word is just a buzzword, so it doesn't help you at all. So we need to look at where did it start? It started with digitization, so presence in the web, like a web page, information. And then we went to web number 2, where we start communicating, so from digitization to digitalization, meaning we started communicating, social media, social communication, e-commerce. So on this journey, maybe we lost already your parents and your grandparents. So they are maybe now in on web 1 and are watching you, and you're on Facebook, and therefore you leave Facebook and go to Instagram or others. But they may not have done the journey to the part of social media, and that you have to be there. You have to be present. If you do not exist in the digital world, you do not exist today anymore. And the next part was then from after digitization and digitalization to digital business models. That's where we are now, with companies which cannot exist without a digital business model. And in each and every business, and even you do something which is not tech, you need to be present and utilize digitalization as digital business model. When you look at the large retailers, the good ones have over 50% online sales parallel to their retail business. So even when it comes to fast consumer goods, meaning we all need to utilize, embrace digital tools, and let's ask, who is using ChatGPT from you? Who is using this?
Yes, I do quite frequently.
Yeah, who is using
I don't.
who is using it? Who is using
Any
ChatGPT?
layman can use ChatGPT.
Yeah, using Copilot.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so when you are using ChatGPT, do you use Perplexity or search engines AI based?
Yeah, we do.
I'm using perplexly. How to say this?
Uh,
Yeah,
I-
this one I am using, and
yeah. So
Gemini as well, and other tools also.
I come back to your question, but first, so we use AI text models. This is not enough because it's unacceptable when you communicate, when you do business concepts, when you present, that more than 20% are considered to be AI created, meaning you utilize on top of AI text models, you utilize rephrasing. From rephrasing, you use human rephrasing, and from human rephrasing, you use NLPs, you use natural language transmitters. For all this, we need no coding, but this is how we can utilize. And with Perplexity and these kinds of AI-based search engines, where we have also the source, we are even academically correct because we can define our prompt to our specific need. So what does it mean? Without utilizing these AI text models in combination with learning to prompt and have a workflow for the prompt, you're just not fast enough. That's it. You're losing time. So meaning we need to embrace the utilization of AI text models. When it comes to video making, well, some are using CapCut or these kinds of tools, but look at, for example, what I use I always don't know the name. In video AI, I write it in the chat.
Sora.
In video AI. So you want to do it, you want to do a quick presentation. We are now in a Tinder generation. Yeah, we have these apps where we decide even on the partner. So our attention span is so small, so short, that we can't communicate to the customer 5 or 10 minutes PowerPoint presentation. That's just not anymore what we are using. So what we are using is a 1 to 2 minute self-branding video where you brand yourself, a 1 to 2 self-branding video where you brand your company and your product and service. You have your message of your product and service. And I'm not talking about the explanation how to utilize it. I'm talking about the communication. So you concentrate on giving communication on the one hand by text and by video, and by this communication you follow the concept why Facebook bought Instagram, because they realized we need video, we need reels, meaning this is what you need. And then, and that's the wonderful thing, then you become important, because you don't spend your sorry for that word, you don't spend your time on communicating something which can easily done tech-based. And then you concentrate on really the key, not to communicate about capacity, not to communicate about a strategy, but communicate about your culture. And then we are where we are today, empathetic leadership. The customer wants to get to know you. So everything what you have to communicate, which is not really you, this can be utilized with technology today. And if you think, oh, I don't know how to do it, no worries. That's not the problem. And your question was, do I first need to learn it before I start my business? No, because entrepreneurship is to think, to act, and to build on experience. So it does not mean that you end up in lectures and lectures and lectures how to learn, and then you realize that the next AI text model, the next AI search engine, the next video maker is already different from what you just learned in a lecture. So the speed which we have now, and this is wonderful, I love it, the speed we have encourage us to move from prediction based on our knowledge, our capacity, to effectuational workflows where, and you heard about this, where you ask about the bird at hand, what do you know, whom do you know, who knows, how can I get into it? And you have the text models to ask them how to do it, and they will tell you. So the good news is that you don't need to sit in classrooms and learn something which is not relevant anymore a day thereafter. Or it's maybe relevant tomorrow, but it's not relevant in half a year. So therefore, it's more and more important that you start doing it. Of course, not just doing it, you think and act. But the key is that think and act is close together, and not think and think and think and think, but never start doing it. May I ask you 3 questions, guys? Who want to become an entrepreneur? Can you raise your hand or say, yes, I want? Who want to become an entrepreneur of you?
Yes, we do.
Can you keep up
Yeah.
your hand, please? Can you keep up your hand? Who want to become an entrepreneur? Keep it up. Okay. Now, maybe the team can make a screenshot here, which I cannot because I need to raise my hand. So please keep your hand up. So most of you say, I want to become an entrepreneur. Here's my next question. When do you want to become an entrepreneur?
Right now.
Now.
Right
Right
now.
now.
Those who are saying not right now, please relax and take your hand down. Those who say, yes, I do it, please keep your hand up. So it doesn't matter if you took your hand down, but the next question is now, and we will take a screenshot. I will take a picture of you, and I follow you up for the next 10 years, as if God gives me the time to do so. So here I have my camera here now. So my question is now, will you be an entrepreneur within the next 1 year? Are you determined to do it? And there is no excuse, no private life, nothing which is an excuse. You will do it. You're determined to do it.
Yes.
Yes.
So those who are saying yes, keep your hand up.
Yes.
Those who say, I don't know, relax.
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
I did a picture of you guys, yeah, and I will follow up with you. So this is the problem. The problem is we need to have interest in entrepreneurship. Then you are already an entrepreneur because you intend to do it. You gain interest. Now you need confidence to do it, to get it done. And confidence is not built in the classroom. And you need confidence is built through whom do you know, through network, through communication. From confidence, we move into idea generation. So you want to have an idea. You need an idea. You need one single brilliant idea. And with this single brilliant idea, you then start applying effectuation, bird at hand. You think about your affordable loss, please. I lost once 2018 in the financial crisis, 3 million euro in one night. So you need to know what you can afford to lose. And then it is about co-creation, collaboration, co-creation. And then it is about, of course, easy key risk management, a 3 key risk management, how we call this, to have a contingency plan. And then you need to be the pilot in the plane. And the pilot in the plane is the one who says, Delta India Lima India Alpha, ready for taxi. And then you get the information India Lima India Alpha, taxi to apron 2.0, and you do it. You're still on the ground. And when you're staying at the apron A, you're saying, okay, ready for departure. And then the tower will tell you, okay, here is tower, Delta India Lima India Alpha, move from April 20 to 29. Then you go to the term it and you stand there. And then you are saying Delta India Lima India Alpha ready for takeoff. And then you get the answer India Lima ready for takeoff. And then you start. And the good news is you will get into the air, but the problem is you should land. And each plane, each company comes down. And if companies would have been planes, you couldn't walk under the sky. So the key is we are saying when we are pilots, we are saying every landing is a good landing. Every landing you can walk away from is a good landing. Every landing you can walk away from and you can use the aircraft the next day is an excellent landing. So when you crash, at least you should be able to walk away. Even you cannot use the aircraft the next day. So it is about survival. So we have in entrepreneurship, we have 4 parts. We have those entrepreneurs who are survival entrepreneurs. We have those entrepreneurs who are lifestyle entrepreneurs. The business is just a part of creating lifestyle. We have those who are growth entrepreneurs. They want to grow the business. We have many who don't want to grow the business, which is okay, or they grow it in a different sense, which is their definition of growth. And then we have aggressive growth entrepreneurs. So we have these 4 entrepreneurs. My journey was I was a survival entrepreneur in one part of my business, and I was an aggressive growth startup tech entrepreneur in another business. So I experienced both parts, but you need to know, usually entrepreneurship is survival. It is about survival. And therefore, survival requires, I'm back to your question, survival requires today your answer to sustainability and your answer to blockchain technology, AI technology, and utilize this. Do I answer your question?
Thank you very much. It was very well explained. Thank you.
So I would love, before, is there another, I'm digital marketing, aspiring to be an entrepreneur. And an entrepreneur might say, look, as a digital marketer, you are disrupted already when you start your digital marketing, because you need to constantly be ready for change. And change is the usual case. So when people are saying entrepreneurs are risk takers, I disagree. You're not taking risk. You're not saying, hey, there's a risk. Oh, great, I do it. That's not what you do. As I said in the beginning, you see an opportunity which is overseen by others. And you act on this opportunity. And for this opportunity, you allocate resources. And then you turn your idea into a business opportunity ready to launch. And you launch it. And with this launch, you are now in the phase as an intensive entrepreneur, as a nascent entrepreneur, the first 3 months. That's already a starting point, which is difficult. And then you're on the first 3.5 years. We call this the total early stage entrepreneurs. And the problem is 80% drop out within the first 3.5 years. And we don't want that you are among these statistics. So meaning, it's not about where is the risk and I go into the risk. It is about to act, to think, to act, to build on the experience, to know when you stop, not exceeding your affordable loss. Think big, but start small and develop it. And thus you are ready that you will experience change. And risk results out of change. Risk is not something which I'm taking. What I'm doing is, of course, when I start a business, there is a risk. Yet this is not where I'm focused on. I'm focused on a customer. I'm focused on a customer segmentation. I'm focused to find my first customer. I'm focused to find the first follower because the follower emulates followers. So this is my approach to the business. I want to know the customer demographics. I want to know what they want, what they need, what the pains are, and then I create my benefit for them, my value proposition. I want to reach them. I want to engage them. Hey guys, where's the risk here? The risk happens, the customer does not pay. Bang. So change is the problem. The change, and when you move into the unknown, and when you build a new business, you have less likely the opportunity to predict the future based on numbers from the past. When you're moving into the unknown, into the future, every step forward, you take this step as fast as possible without thinking about failure, because you don't know whether this is right or wrong. And you can't wait until you have the argument and the reasoning and the evidence that your step is right. So in the end, every step forward has an information for you, an information to carry on, or an information, okay, I go back to the last secured point and start again, because there is only yes, that's the way forward, and there is a no, and no means next opportunity. So that's the key when we are looking at it. And so you as a digital marketer, you know that everything what you are using today will be disrupted tomorrow. And that's the great news. Yeah. Does that make sense what I'm saying, or is it boring? You need to let me know. I'm always been confused.
So
Yeah, please go ahead.
what if there are some cases where you don't want you just want to create the target. I mean, you want to create a customer base. Things are new for the customers, and you think that customers will, will be very, overwhelming when I launch this product, or launch something that would, disrupt the market. So that thing rules out when what should we select if we have something in mind, and I think that this thing is going to be, interesting for the for the people, and my customer base will be created, you know so how to do we have to take that road, or we have to leave that road and be customer centric?
So the key is you think of a product and a service, correct? And you don't have a customer right now. Is this what you are saying?
Yeah, my point is that sometimes you want to introduce something new, and that's
Mm-hmm.
not on the table uh, in the society, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a thing that might be a very much new. There's a risk that people might like it. There's a risk that they won't like it. But the point is that, do we have to should we take that road, or should we, be customer centric at all times? Because if we are customer centric, we are all time we are customer centric, we won't be able to, introduce something very much new to the society, because society is very much, used to the regular things.
That's a brilliant question, which covers three areas. So one is what you just see on the screen. People don't know what they want until you show it to them. Think about the mobile device. When Steve Jobs introduced the mobile device, the people didn't know that they want this, and everybody has it now. So this is one answer to it. So you need to show it to the people. You need to be very quick on your feet to show your new product, your new service, to test this. So the testing of prototypes becomes here a key, that you are not driven by your product and service, but that you are driven by testing it. on a small scale. You need to show it to the customer. Part one. Part two, should I be
Early. It should be early, right? It should be very early.
very early? Find your first customer. I give you an example. I was in Chicago with a group of 30 students. They arrived on Sunday. We did very tough teachings, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On Wednesday, I told the 30 students, okay, tomorrow you go out to Chicago, find for this, what you developed the last 3 days, you find a new customer and don't come back without a customer. If you come back without a customer, you leave our group and you are out of our 2 weeks program. They hated me. And 5 groups, these 30 students, 5 groups went out. 3 came back with a customer. 1 came back with a contract. If they change it, the customer buys. And 1 came back, there was a specific technology, came back with a potential technology partner who said, I'm really interested, and signed an MOU within 1 day. So again, this is the question, should we wait or should we start? Should we learn first AI before we start? Should we first do this before we start? We should be considerate what we are doing. But to me, if you have a new product, test it out as early as fast as possible. As I said, every step forward has an information in it. And this information leads to the next grip. You know, I know this from, this is the second part. And the third part is, to me, it's very clear. Entrepreneurs are very often product-driven and service-driven. Entrepreneurs have an idea, and the idea is the product. The idea is the service, and this is so good. And in the end, it is about generating revenue, and the revenue comes from the customer. Everybody knows. So we have to concentrate that we have our product idea and service, but we have to look, what is now our customer segment? We need the customer segmentation, meaning you need to know the demographics, age group of your customer, gender of your customer, gender orientation. You need to know where are they in urban areas, in rural areas. You need to know, what do they want? What is their pain? What is their need? What do they need? What is their pain? And because this is the market, this is the customer looking at your product and service. And if this does not fit, when the market evaluates your product and service, and this is not a fit, then you will produce and create your product, but you are not directed to the customer. The good news is, well, you will realize that maybe this is not the customer group, and you will pivot, you will change the customer group. But you have to be customer oriented in the sense of knowing the market segmentation. So knowing the demographics, psychographics, knowing this from the customer, targeted customer group, knowing what they want. Look, when you an insurance company, what does an insurance company look for, is looking for? Only for pain points of customers. They are creating their products to pain points of customers. What are pharmaceutical companies looking at? They are looking at the pain points of customers. And they do this for a segmentation. They do this for a specific customer group. I needed a person. I needed a medication. This medication, only 1% of cancer patients need this medication. This medication is the seventh most successful medication by profitability in the world, and in the history of pharmaceutical products. Well, you can say it's robbery and theft. So what happens is customer segmentation, what they are doing. So just describe this. I would stop share here and would go in the chat, and I would just describe this in the following sentence to answer your question. Who is your first question? Your second question is benefit. Your next question is, how do I reach the customer? And the next question is, how do I engage the customer? So here we go. And if you are product driven, you think of the benefit first, then you're not thinking of the benefit. You are thinking of the product itself, about the features. You love your features. You love your service. You think this is good. But the key is to think of the benefit of the features you are talking about, for the customer, the benefit for the service you are talking about. Because the customer, you propose a benefit to the customer. In other words, value proposition. You propose a value. You propose a value, you make a value proposition. You propose a benefit. And this is meant when you look at effectuation by means. So you're not starting with the goal. I have this product, and now I bring this product into the market. What you are doing is, I have this product, I developed this product, and now please change your perspective from the production driven to the benefit driven. So let me bring you to the test, guys. Can you, Pinkward did this in a master class, and I'm referring to this. Can you decide which is your preferred hand, the left hand or the right hand? Make a decision. Is it the right hand or the left hand? And have it up on the screen. So my preferred hand is today the right hand. Okay. Now have your point finger, okay, here. And now do the following. I will go through it and you will afterwards copy me. I do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I write a capital E on my forehead. Okay? So please copy me now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and write a capital E on your forehead. Okay. How did you do this? Did you write it that you can read it? Or did you write it that you can read it, or did you write that I can read it? Think about it. How did you wrote the capital E on your forehead?
You can read it.
That you can read it.
I did like the other
Who
person.
wrote it? So
Hi.
how many of you said that I can read it? Yeah. So as human beings, we tend to write the capital E on our forehead that we can read it. And this is okay. It's not wrong. It's what we do. So what we need to learn is perspective taking. We need to learn to take the perspective of our customer, that the customer can read the E and not we. So it is about self-awareness, because self-awareness leads to something. Self-awareness leads to do something. Meaning, you have a product in your mind, you have an idea in your mind, a service in your mind, great. But your idea is just an idea on the shelf. We need to turn the idea now into a business opportunity. Now is the time to think that until now, with your idea generation, you wrote your product and your service on your forehead that you can read it. You understand it. And you fear, as you said, and thank you for sharing, you fear that the market may not accept this. Because we need to do perspective taking that the market can read our product. And this is to change our mindset from being product and service driven towards being benefit driven, means driven, not goal driven, not saying this is my product and my goal is to bring this to the market. No, effectuation teaches us to be means driven. What is the means of this for the customer? And I call this just what's the benefit? Because this means driven, what is it? Yeah. So, yeah. So that's what we are saying. We need to be means driven. We need to create the benefit. And as you see, I'm not talking about cost structure. I'm just talking first about who is the customer. And when you present something, you never start, my name is Pak Abdul Hassa, and my company name is. This is not how we pitch a business to investors. We pitch for the automotive industry. We provide high-speed controls, software-based high-speed controls for gluing and sealing in the automotive production by reducing the time per car of 10 minutes, unlike other existing solutions. But we start with the customer. We don't start with the product and service when we present a product and service. When we present a company, different course, like this presentations, pitching course. So how do we pitch in 1 to 1.5 minutes? How do we give a business summary? How do we talk about the management team, our founding team? How do we present to the investor that we are investable? And then we can all go down from the customer and from the value proposition and so on. But in the end, you start with the customer. So I hope it's clear when I don't know, you need to stop me on here. But to me, important is love your product, love your service. Great. You have the idea. Great. Now start perspective taking and attunement. Start being self-aware. And being self-aware, start taking the perspective of the customer, because you need to know how will the customer evaluate. And one element for this is that you test it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a follow-up question with this stream that we are talking about. Another question is that what if I've identified the customer segmentation? I've identified that these are my customers. I've tested out and everything, it's something that my product is going to be sold to those people. Now, the most important thing is that how do I expand my customer base? How to do the expansion to the larger group? I've identified a segment. Now that segment is very small. So, for example, I want to create some solution for the farmers, a digital solution, right? And that digital solution will be well used by those farmers who are digital friendly, right? Some of the farmers don't use the digital devices. So how do I, expand my, my customer base? How to, make them aware that how we are, facilitating them, or how we will create value to them.
That's a beautiful question, in particular when it comes to farming. The similar situation is currently with a student of mine who has a large durian farm and is in collaborating. So here is my answer to your question. But again, I may not have answers to your question. Yeah. So it's my take on it. One point is find a niche and fill it.
Oh, that's true.
You said your market is very small. They need these farmers who are tech savvy, who are interested in smart farming. That's great. This is obviously a niche market. This is the first step. Find a niche and fill it rather than to create a demand. So don't start thinking about how can I create demand with the farmers who are not interested yet. Start, find a niche and fill this niche and grow in this niche market. That you have a market share of 40% in this niche market. Then, when you have a 40% in the market share, you are driving this niche market. You become a driver in the niche market, also maybe 30%, but you need to get out of the radar. You start under the radar. which is great because you can develop under the radar before others are looking at you and start.
Kind of going early now.
Yeah.
Dr. Hans,
Yeah.
can I come into the discussion? I'm Bilal.
Yeah.
I just recently joined a copywriting online course from North America.
Yeah.
That course has been, structured very professionally. And just because I've been a student of Dr. Shahid and I've learned a lot about entrepreneurship, and what I see, the problem with our youth is we are not aware of the global market. We do not understand. So all the questions that have been generated in our mind, in the mind of our youth, have become irrelevant because they do not understand the basics, what is happening in the global market. They try to focus on something which does not have any real value in the market. Like, let me tell you, I've been learning. I went to Dr. Shahid's recent course at IBA, and from there I gathered that only 1% is a doer, and now that person is in my team. I paid about $400 to get registered into an online course that is just 1/4 of the value. It's a $1,600 course, but just by registering for that course, I'm not connected with 900 global freelance copywriters and those who want to learn. The problem is that awareness. Let me tell, we don't have these are very simple, observations of mine. We do not have the relevant knowledge. We don't do research. We don't have the experience. We do not do networking. I've learned from participants of Dr. Shahid, and I try to connect with those who can, perform, who knows, from whom I can learn. I never knew how to use LinkedIn. I never had I'm an engineer by profession in the renewable energy, but I never created a LinkedIn profile. Just about a month back, I created one, and now I'm connected to a freelance copywriter in North America who has got an experience of 15 years.
Yeah.
And I know you talked about the niche. How can we select a niche if we don't know what subjects are there and what do we need to do in those subjects? Because you see, by hypothetical lectures, we cannot create revenue. I mean, a global somebody who needs my services who needs the services of my team needs some. I have to deliver. I have to prove it to him that I can deliver something. I can increase your sales. I cannot just talk hypothetically to anybody in the global market. So, this is a course by a North American. She is a brand creator. They know how to create brands. We, unfortunately, in Pakistan, I've been in the industry for the last 35 years, and we do not have a brand of Pakistan in the international market because we believe in subsidies. We don't believe in these fancy and technology which we should be learning. We don't invest anything in that. We believe in investing in something material. So we do not end up or land anywhere from where we can start and create revenue for somebody else. And let me tell you about the risk mitigation that I've created out of it, because we have to learn how to structure our efforts and our energies. Because if we take unnecessary risks, that can be very depressive. I've seen those depressive cycles. So you see, the problem is that we try to do something which we cannot handle as an individual. So we end up in distress. We end up in depression because we feel that we tried a level best, which is not true in the global context, and we expect results, which will never going to happen. This is the very unfortunate part. But you see, I see talent, but the basic thing is I've been learning. I've gone to Dr. Shahid's Gifts University at Gujranwala also, and I saw that the young people, they never. He asked me to give a talk, introductory talk of about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and when I asked about the new entry for IT, they could not even understand what is algorithm. I mean, what to expect from them. I will just discard them. None of them. They might be paying 1 million rupees for the course. I guess discard because they're of no use. In real terms, you have to generate revenue. You have to become self-sustainable. If you're not sustainable economically, there's no use of learning anything. That's my point. And I think I agree with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. You're raising three answers to what you just said. One answer you answered. One answer to your question is which you gave. It was networking. It was, we know and we analyzed. We did a research in 11 countries in Southeast Asia, and the only significant element to foster was networking. It was interesting. There were other influencing factors, but the networking is relevant. And you said these via, for example, LinkedIn or professional networks groups, to join in networking is one part. The second part is what you said. You need to go abroad. You need to travel, either personally or, if you can't afford it, virtually. You need to go abroad and see what's going on there. And the next part, and when you decide, I want to start a business in Karachi, and then I go to Lahore, think about why do you go to Lahore? I always ask students in Bangkok, when they are in Bangkok and they want to go to Chiang Mai, I said, why don't you go to Singapore? Why don't you internationalize? So in Thailand, for example, only 5% of the companies are international. What you just described as being desperate is the opportunity, if not all companies are international. So that's the key, how to go international. I come to the question with the niche. And the third part is observation. Let me ask you guys one question. When people are going out of a mall, out of a shopping mall, and they have plastic bags full with plastic bags, what is going on? What is going on? So you see people at the entrance of the shopping mall, and they are
buying something
packed with plastic bags. What is happening?
They're buying. Shopping.
That's environmental pollution.
So the plastic bags are causing pollution. What else? Big full plastic bag. Full.
Sort of sale means they're trying to utilize the opportunity.
What kind of opportunity?
Excessive buying, which they don't
So
need.
they buy a lot. Yeah.
They buy a lot.
This is what we say.
Yeah.
Oh, there are people leaving. Oh, this is not good for the environment. Or we say, oh, look, they are buying a lot. There must be a sales. There must be a special offer. This is not observation. This is judgment. The only thing what you can observe is, what are the people doing carrying plastic bags? How do they communicate with each other? How do they communicate with the environment? And this observation without judgment lead to the answer to your question. How do we know it? We don't know it just because we judge. We know it when we train us towards observation without judgment. We observe markets, not we judge markets. We don't go to the data to analyze the market. We observe the customer. We observe the market without judgment. So these are the three answers. Networking is one, travel is the other part, and third part is observation. So this is my answer to your very, very important thought. And the question, how do you find the niche? Here is an example, and I'm happy to share my own story, but also look at Starbucks. Starbucks is still, it's a world brand. It's still a niche market. It's still a niche market. And how did they start? The Starbucks founder, it started in Seattle. Seattle was the coffee city in the US. In Seattle, you had coffee shops popping up. The guys in Seattle, they wanted to try out coffee. The market was keen here. This mix of coffee with orange, coffee from this country, coffee from that country. So it was really a coffee city. And the Starbucks founder started exactly in this market. And we would say crazy to do it in a market which is saturized. It was not, because the customer, they were keen on the next coffee. But what Starbucks founder did was he observed the market. He observed the coffee shops. He went from coffee shop to coffee shop and observed without judgment, not saying, oh, this is not good, this is good, this is not good, and that is not good. He was observing what they are doing. What are the customers doing? And for example, he realized the customers are buying to go, and there is no space where they enjoy the coffee. So what is Starbucks? What's the business model of Starbucks? It's not selling coffee, it's selling space. So he took the perspective from the customer, and then he pitched this business he wanted to start with, he had the dream of building a world brand, and he pitched to more than 130 venture capitalists and funding partners, and they all said, no, this is not a good idea. And then he found one. Back to my own story. We created software, and maybe this is, I don't know what this is. So finding the niche is you observe a market and you search in the market, where is the niche of this? So for example, when we started, when we had a brick factory, I was buying a brick factory. The brick factory was having losses for 5 years. It was, nobody wanted to buy it anymore. And where is it here? So that was the situation of the company when my wife and myself came in. That was the situation of the company. Yeah. So we were pretty desperate. And when I just showed one slide, you have situations where you are opportunity driven, all is great. You have situations where you're necessity driven. You have situation where this is urgent, and you have situation, this is emergency. If you don't act immediately, you go bankrupt. And innovation and creativity derives from being desperate. So it's great that you said, hey, we are a bit desperate. That's a good starting point. So we took over this brick factory producing bricks, and we did this for all markets, facing bricks, bricks to build houses, roof, and everything. And then we decided we go into a niche market. We only do technical bricks for sewer systems. And in this niche market, we grew to 40%. And when we started, we were 500 competitors. After 10 years, we were 250. East Germany came to West Germany, and 250 in East Germany came to us. So again, 500. So you saw the number 500, 10 years later, 250, whoops, 500 again. In the next 10 years, from 500 to 50. And then the next 10 years, from 50 to 5. So this is the story of the business. And we had a production. We increased the production. We didn't have the money to build a new factory, because to build a new brick factory in Germany is about 30 to 50 million US dollar. So, and we had this old factory. So the question was what to do. And we were producing 5 shifts, but we couldn't. So 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. The production never stops. But we couldn't afford it to have stuff all the time. We couldn't afford to have it was in the countryside. The engineers don't want to go there. They want to be in the city. They want to be in a nice environment. We couldn't get the people. And when the engineer said, we are coming, the wife said, no, we don't want to live there. So we decided to use technology. And the problem was, it was not existing. It was not existing because our staff was not educated. It was great, but not educated. And all the systems available to make an automated production require expert. So we realized we need a non-expert system. We need an intuitive system, which is a non-expert system. So we said the cleaning lady need to be able to run the kiln, a complicated machine. And by developing the software for ourselves, we always said we want to sell this software to other markets. We didn't know to which market. because it was control software, high-speed controls. You can do this everywhere. And we tested it out. We thought the elevator market might be great. We thought about doing ships, the loading of ships, but the sensors were not there. And then we knew someone, or one of us knew someone in Mercedes. And they said, oh, there is gluing. And I said, yeah, I knew gluing from my ceramic engineering, that windshields are glued in cars. And the guy said, no, they want to glue more things. So I said, I would like to go to the factory. So we visit them. And then we were looking at this and said, this was all expert systems. So to keep a long story short, we invited them to our brick factory, and they said, yeah, this is interesting for us. So we became an external, our shitty small company became an external consultant for Mercedes to develop the new gluing and sealing system for Mercedes. And honestly, you were asking, this leads to the question in the beginning. I had no idea about coding. I didn't know anything about it. I had an idea about how an architecture should be from software, what the software should do towards the customer, but there was no idea how to produce it. And I had a brother-in-law, and he was good in this coding. So we too started this, crawling on the floor and trying and fighting to get the idea of my architecture into software. And he was great, and we found out how to do it. And we end up being the sole supplier for Mercedes. So from a brick factory, we were then doing the control system for sealing and gluing in the automotive industry. So we found a niche market, and we stayed in this niche market. By the way, with all problems which then comes up, because when you're then important in the niche market, then people start copying you, try to copy you, and yeah. So in the end, it's now owned by Mercedes. So they bought it in the end. So
can I again share some of my views? I've been learning, and we've been taught in the religion that we should not try to do complicated things. We try to embark upon things which are beyond our controls. We need because today's modern business is very, very complex. You need to understand. We unfortunately, again, the culture and the mindset here in Pakistan is so poor. I'm sorry to say that they do not even understand what they're getting into. So that is the reason why most of them fail. The niche that I've selected is digital marketing, healthcare, and branding of organic food. Because Dr. Shahid has been calling me for as a guest speaker for about 10 minutes in his 2.5 hour or maybe more of lectures that he gave on entrepreneurship, which are very good. You see, you must learn the research. You said about knowledge and networking and everything. Things start with research, because if we don't have the command on the subject we're talking about, we should not do comments. Because let me tell you, recently I was following one of the participants who has got a 15 years experience in copywriting, and I just communicated and networked with her, specifically understanding what her personality and psyche is. We have been taught to not to communicate until and we understand whom we are talking, who's the target audience. We just, we are, there's a very interesting lecture by Sheikh Hamza Yusuf. He said that we are like cassette players. We just come and put the cassette, and we think that everybody will understand it in a similar way. Whereas there's a whole understanding. There's so many factors which every human being is different. Please.
So let me, there is another question, and I would like to say what you're saying. I absolutely agree. I'd write it in the chat. data-driven decision making. So you're absolutely right. And the good news is that we have now search technology available where we can access more easy and faster the research results. So
That's true.
Previously in academia, for example, or in reports, I was reading the reports. I was reading the academic articles. So now I take the academic articles, of course, I look into the abstract, and then I let AI give me a summary when I found this interesting. And then when the summary is okay, then I start reading the article. Otherwise, I skip it. So my capability to read through the existing research became faster and better than before. So I agree, I completely agree. And please, no one here, don't misunderstand when I say think and act. Think data-driven. Yeah. So do you agree with that? Yeah. Think data-driven. So you need to, for each argument you establish, this comes from law. I'm teaching business law as well. When it comes to law, we are saying if you have an argument, you need to reason it and you need to evidence it. So this is, of course, we need data-driven decision making. And here is a part, you want to add something, an insight about research and data, please do so.
Yeah. Somebody else is
yeah.
Somebody else?
What is it? I can't pronounce the name. My apologies. My
Yes, sir. My name is Hamna, and I'm a student from Pakistan. Since, sir, we are talking about youth and our culture, that how we're not able to tap into the insights in the market. And as much as I can share from my personal experience, I haven't even done my graduation yet. But the point is that I'm trying to fill in is that even if you're from, like me, a non-technical background and trying to be an entrepreneur, for which we are all sitting here today, you still need to be data driven because there are many opportunities for youth online. For example, there's Data Camp, there's Code Academy, etc. So, because I feel like as entrepreneurs and as students of entrepreneurs, as the youth, which Mr. Bilal mentioned already, we need to see, even by bookish standards, that the top management has to be flexible in their skill sets. So, and to a great extent. And I remember that when we used to do assignments, I would deliberately try to tap into the data and gather the actual insight. This is what we're missing, that we're not data driven and we can't tap into the insights. And this is what our teachers here have to proclaim in the classes as well, that there are many opportunities online and they're specifically designed for non-technical students as well, who for whom something like you know, Python might seem so hard, but I think Power BI, SQL, which is specifically designed for non-technical people, it's easily approachable. So you can easily deliver those results and tap on the international market that we're talking about. Without a data culture, we can't do the proper insight analysis. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, this is very good. The question is, you know Pakistan better than me. You are referring to Germany. Germany has a decline in entrepreneurship, not an increase. And the entrepreneurial mindset in Germany currently does not support the founding of companies. In Thailand, we are a very entrepreneurial country. Half of the population is engaged in entrepreneurial activity. We have gender equality, one of 6 countries in the world. Half of the entrepreneurs are women in Thailand. In Pakistan, only 1%. We know this from Global Entrepreneurship Monitor. We have these data available for you, for everybody. It's open data. So let me give you what you said, this feeling of being desperate, the feeling of being not in the state of development. We know that on the pathway from a productivity-driven country to efficiency-driven country, to an innovative country, we are losing from efficiency to innovative. We are losing these aspirations, this intention to start business. For example, in Singapore, the number of new businesses is much smaller as an innovative city than in Thailand. In Thailand, it's very strong due to the situation we have. And the people feel, and this is important, in Thailand, if you go to the Northeast, you may say that people become entrepreneurs because they have no other opportunity to make a living. When we ask these Thai, they are saying, we are doing this for an opportunity. So it is, they feel we are acting out of an opportunity. Even I would say it is out of necessity. So we need to listen to you need to surround you with people who don't have this kind of negative connotation, and surround you with people who see the strength in Pakistan, the strength of the people, the strength of a network, which is to me, I love to come to Pakistan, which is to me there. When I was in class with Dr. Shahid, I really have to say, I loved all the students because that was brilliant. I see you here on the screen. I feel the same. So, but in class when we are longer together, it was really, the problem is when this feeling of being desperate leads to a deduction of happiness. I think there our belief can help us, hopefully. Our values driving us are important to this. I met yesterday, and I'm not storytelling, just a factual thing. Yesterday, we always ask the ambassador of other countries to come to our university. So yesterday, the ambassador of Korea, of the Republic of South Korea, came to us, and we had a half-day conversation with the students and a conversation. And if you look at Korea, Korea was 30 years ago, in the beginning of the 35 years ago, was one of the poorest countries in the world. One of the poorest countries in the world. And what happened was that, what are the influencing factors? I will name one, which is interesting. You know the situation of K-pop and the K-culture from Korea, Gangnam Style and these groups, yeah. What happened in Korea was that due to the colonization from Japan, it was not allowed to have other content in Korea. And then Korea, the government opened up. And the entrepreneurs of the content industry went on the streets. They said, when the competition comes in, when the American guys and these people come in, then we have no chance. Even they shaved their hair to say, this is the end of the content industry in Korea. So what happened was, this desperation, this urgency, led to move to other countries. When the China ban came and China said, we don't allow these products in China anymore for a different reason, they started moving in other areas. Therefore, when you have Thai in front of you, when I see my Thai students, they are more the happiness guys. The Koreans always are appearing as being desperate. There is this kind of basic feeling of desperation. And you can say in Korea, the ambassador said yesterday to me, yeah, you know, this kind of desperation is maybe the motivational factor of Korea to become out of the poorest countries to one of the richest countries. And no resources like Pakistan. We need to think about that Pakistan has resources.
Amazing.
I'm not allowed to talk about politics of Pakistan, okay? I will not do this, okay? So, sorry. So what I'm saying is, the mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset requires us not to turn us down. Not that someone who wants to talk you out of your idea, that you don't let someone talk you out of an idea. This is my absolute advice. If times are getting tough, and times are getting tough, and we are entrepreneurs, don't let anyone talk you out of an idea when times are getting tough. You decide when you stop, but not someone who is evaluating you. Therefore, when you are in the idea generation process, when you think about your product and services, when you then are in the process of perspective taking, and then you ask someone, what do you think about my idea? And someone turns you down, say, thank you very much for your advice, and go to the next one. Find people who observe you, who critique you, and raise you up. I would like to share a short video about this, which may be an answer to this. Let me share this. I hope I can do it quickly. Where is it? Oh God, where are the videos now? I have this open, but where is it? Just a second, where is it? Screens. No, it's not here. It's not here. Is it here? No, that's the PowerPoint. It's this one. Just a second. I need to do it differently. I think I need to. Just a second. Stop share. My apologies. I'm not anymore on Zoom. We should change this. So here we go. I think I need to start the video and then I can share it. I think this was with Zoom. Yeah. Okay. I hope you can hear it. If you can't hear it, please let me go. Let me know. Can you hear it?
How do professionals?
Yes.
Okay. So then let's start a short video as the answer how we should do this, how we personally should do it. Here's my recommendation.
How do professionals get better at what they do? How do they get great? And there are two views about this. One is the traditional view. That is that you go to school, you study, you practice, you learn, you graduate. And then you go out into the world and you make your way on your own. That's how doctors learn. That's how lawyers do, scientists. Now, the contrasting view comes out of sports. And they say, you are never done. Everybody needs a coach. The greatest in the world needs a coach. So I tried to think about this as a surgeon. Pay someone to come into my operating room, observe me, and critique me. It seems absurd. Expertise means not needing to be coached. So then which view is right? Turns out there are numerous problems in making it on your own. You don't recognize the issues that are standing in your way, or if you do, you don't necessarily know how to fix them. And the result is that somewhere along the way, you stop improving. And I thought about that, and I realized that was exactly what had happened to me as a surgeon. So I asked a former professor of mine who had retired, his name is Bob Osteen, and he agreed to come to my operating room and observe me. The case, I remember that first case, it went beautifully. I didn't think there would be anything much he'd have to say when we were done. Instead, he had a whole page of dense with notes. Just small things, he said. Did you notice that the light had swung out of the wound during the case? Another thing I noticed, he said, your elbow goes up in the air every once in a while. That means you're not in full control. It was a whole nother level of awareness. He was describing what great coaches do. And what they do is they are your external eyes and ears, providing a more accurate picture of your reality. They're recognizing the fundamentals. They're breaking your actions down and then helping you build them back up again. After 2 months of coaching, I felt myself getting better again. And after a year, I saw my complications drop down even further. It was painful. I didn't like being observed. And at times I didn't want to have to work on things. I also felt there were periods where I would get worse before I got better. But it made me realize that the coaches were onto something profoundly important. I think it's not just how good you are now, I think it's how good you're gonna be that really matters.
So this may be my answer to Pakistan. I would like even with, so it doesn't matter how Pakistan is today. It doesn't matter how Germany is today. It doesn't matter how Thailand is today. What matters is how good we're gonna be. And we need three parts to it. We need to be taught. We need teachers that we learn, that we practice. We need mentors, advisors who give advice. Have you tried this? Try that one. And we need coaches. We need people who observe us, but who are not focused on the problem, who are focused on us as a person and supporting us in our transactional and transformational development, even our psychological mental development. If we have these three parts together, then we more easy get better at what we do, because we are facing the following. Let me show this. Sorry, where am I? Sorry. Let's go back here. Yeah. So the uncertainty is a factor. And here is a phrase, knowing the unknown, which was phrased by Donald Rumsfeld when he did a DoD briefing, a Department of Defense, when the US was in Iraq and was facing the problem whether there are weapons of mass destruction or not. And here is what he said, what Donald Rumsfeld said.
Reports that say that something hasn't happened are always interesting to me, because as we know, there are known knowns. There are things we know. We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there are some things we do not know. But there are also unknown unknowns. The ones we don't know, we don't know.
So this is what we are facing, and this is our search. There are known knowns. There are things we know that we know them. That's easy. That's the Me Too business. There are known unknowns. So we know that there are things we don't know. And the key is there are unknown unknowns. We do not know. We do not know. And when we look into this concept, then we see that the opportunities are there where we find unknown unknowns. This is what will cause change. There is the risk. If we create risk out of the known knowns, we are pretty much stupid. If there are known unknowns, we have mitigation measures. We have a contingency planning. We decide on the risk. What is the impact of a risk? What is the probability? What is the residual risk? What are mitigation measures? But there are also unknown unknowns. This is when you don't know. You just don't know. And this is where this is the area and the answer. So we need to deal with the unknown. And this is my answer to development of a nation, development of a company. These three elements are influencing, and we need the mindset. We need the open mindset. We need to develop to say yes and not to say yes but, not to say yes, but we don't have the capacity to say yes, but the strategy is not clear. We need to build the culture, the entrepreneurial culture, the empathetic culture of self-awareness to do something, of taking perspective and attunement. We need to surround us with people who are raising us up. And then we are stepping into known unknowns and unknown unknowns. And this is what the effectuation theory by Saraswati and the resulting teaching, where Dr. Shahid is the public figure or a key figure in effectuation, in the application of it, because this is that we are not thinking about what are these unknowns. We try to find out that we have a bird at hand. We need to search for the bird at hand. We observe, we virtually or factually travel, we network, we build, we co-create. And this is how we do this. Yeah, we are not asking first for resources. Yeah, I need money, I need the resources. That's not the first question. The first question is, what do you know? And not what you don't know. And this is the same when it comes to politics in a country. It's not about the question how good the country is. It is whether the country is focused on the people and is coaching the people that they solve the problem, because government cannot solve the problem. The people solve the problem. The same with the company. You as the entrepreneur cannot solve the problem. Your people will solve the problem. So you need to encourage them to solve the problem. And as entrepreneurs, you need to be together with entrepreneurs, because you will realize that you can only talk after some time. Only entrepreneurs understand you. You have friends who are not entrepreneurs, and you have friends who are entrepreneurs, and your friends who are not entrepreneurs, they want to go out for dinner with you. And you want to be in the business, and they don't get why you are doing this. Yeah. So it's not that you get more friends, you get less friends, you get valuable friends. So you need entrepreneurs around you with all their experience. And the key is focus on the dark side. So I'm teaching the dark side of entrepreneurship. It's not very fun, but I'm teaching the dark side of entrepreneurship, not the success. You know, when we had success, that was great. We were making money, but there was no learning in there. The learning was when we failed, and when we experienced we couldn't pay our bills. That was the learning. When I had to call all the suppliers, I cannot pay my bills because my customer did not pay me. Yeah, and we didn't expect that our customer is not paying us, because it was a large customer who always paid. So there is the learning, and that's when you look into the effectuation theory, which is very practical and not theoretical. It's just based on research. That's when it's said entrepreneurs are looking at the downside. So what is the affordable loss? We are looking into that part, because again, success is just success. So the entrepreneur mindset is what strategy means, not the question looking back. The question is, where are we now? Where do we want to go? And how do we get there in an aligned structure? How can we apply change management to get people on board, to get people aligned, that we, from where we are, we align us to go to where we want to go. And the past just has some information. But the key is, and this is from psychology and coaching, so from psychological coaching, when you can say as an entrepreneur, when you have an emotional trigger which turns you down, the emotional trigger, that's the problem. When you have an emotional trigger and you can say, that was then, this is now, I'm safe. When an emotional trigger does not hurt you anymore, then you are open to go from where you are to where you want to go. And for this, you need a coach. You need someone who is on your side, who is not talking about the problems, but who is supporting you and lifting you up. So I wish everybody of you that you maybe become aware that what we know from sports, everybody needs a coach, that we get better at what we do. Considering we are working full-time job, but still want to find a niche to start entrepreneurial journey. Yeah, that's always the problem. And there is no answer to it. It is about balancing. There is no black and white and red and the opposite color. It is about balancing your hard work and balancing also the time to relax. I, from my side, say there is time to work. There is time to spend with family and friends. There is time to contemplate and think about someone above, whoever, whatever this means to you, because this is in the world different. But important is, look inside of us, look around us, and look above us. And this is to guide us that we understand we are not looking back. We look where we are and we take it from there.
Hans, we have a question raised for a while from our sister Ikra.
Oh.
Ikra, you want to say something?
Which one?
This is lady. Yes, she was going to talk.
Oh, my apologies. I haven't seen it because I'm looking at you at the screen. Sorry, I'm not.
No problem.
I'm focused on you guys. Sorry for that. Not reading all the time the slide.
Lal sir, thank you very much.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please carry on.
Sir, I have two questions. What are the emerging trends in global entrepreneurship? And the second one is, how do entrepreneurs identify opportunities in the global market?
Identifying so what are the emerging trends in entrepreneurship? Empathetic leadership. Dr. Shahid, what do you say?
What do I say?
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Bilal is fond of talking. Yes, please, Bilal, go ahead.
You see, we are humans in haste. We try to do things in a jiffy. We don't have the patience. It all comes up in front of you if you have the patience, if you keep on building that knowledge base. Because you see, Ikra, you ask for the modern trends. If you do not follow the trends, what has been happening for the last 30 years or maybe just 5 years, you will never be able to understand what are the trends, what are the new trends where the potential is there. Because you have to be part of the mindset to understand what are the new trends, where you can make money, where you can harness your abilities to have more skills. You need to start from somewhere, please.
Yeah, may I step in? May I step in?
Yeah, please.
We can, how can we, there were the two questions, what are emerging, what are the current trends in entrepreneurship, and what are the current trends in to identify global opportunities in global markets. Well, we are looking, whether it's a local market or global market, we are looking towards opportunities overseen by others. Following the trend means we are just stepping in markets which are already on the pathway to a saturated market. So the key question is, what do you do when you just follow trends? So the question is, I would not say follow the current trend, find what are indicators which are determining the next trend. Example, in our ceramic, we also produce ceramics. In our ceramics, when it comes to glaze and colors of ceramics, we were not looking into the trend in the ceramic industry, because that would have led to doing the same colors, the same glaze on the cups and so on. We realized that the ceramic colors are following the colors of the interior design. So having found, that relates what Bilal said, data-driven. So we saw that the colors in the interior design will be the colors in 2 years in glaze, in tiles, and so on. So what we did, we were following the trends in interior design, not in our industry. And thus, for example, we came up with gray glazes and blue glazes, which were not trendy at that day. But the market then, when we produced it, said, oh, that's new. And that was the trend because it was determined to the interior market. What does it mean? How can I find opportunity in global trends? The question is data research, sure, what are current trends, but then to look, what are the influencing factors which are determining the trend in that industry? So when one of you said, sorry that I didn't remember, about smart farming, so then it is the question, what is determining the trend in smart farming? Is it, for example, the smart sensors? So then I look into the sensor market and look what are the trends in the sensor market, because this will determine the smart farming to have the soil how many, what is the temperature, what is the humidity and so on. So find out, my answer to this is to find opportunities in global trends is not following the global trend, it is to follow the indicators which are determining these global, to find the indicators. And there is the opportunity to move in. I hope it answered the question. And with the trend in entrepreneurship, I think it's two things. It's what I said, empathetic leadership. And with the word of sustainability, I said in the beginning, it is more and more the focus. It's not only to create economic value, it is also to create social value. So I think a trend is, except Tesla and these guys, but and some traders in financial markets where only the money drives what they are interested in. But the key trends, I think, are we need to create also a social value. The entrepreneur is pledging towards a social good, not to social entrepreneurship. So we differentiate between commercial entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship. Commercial entrepreneurship, truly driven to the customer side and the value proposition. The social entrepreneur is driven to solve a problem in society and create a solution to it, which might be an enterprise for commercial, might be a non-for-profit, might be a charity, might be a CSR. But for both parts, I think entrepreneurs are more and more also asking, what is the benefit of being an entrepreneur? I think this is definitely in trend. I think entrepreneurs are the nobles of today. And you as entrepreneurs, you have an important task. You're not only creating business, you are developing not only your mindset, you are developing the mindset of a society. And I think this is a trend that governments are not developing the markets, the international collaborations are not developing markets. It is the soft power which are determining the elements of soft power, which are determining the power of entrepreneurs of tomorrow. I think this is definitely a trend.
Great. Very interesting. We have some foreign guests as well. We have our friend Zishan from Egypt. We have Nadeem from Pune. Right now, Nadeem, you are in Germany, I think?
Yeah, I'm from India.
But you're working in India now, in Germany right now, or in India?
No, I'm from India and working in India only.
Wonderful. We have Professor Moses from Kenya. Professor Moses, can we see you? In the meanwhile, Nadeem, you have a quick question, please? Quick one before we wind up. Yes.
Yeah, it's related to the trend which Ikra was asking. So what I observed is something like it's trending in West, like what Uber was doing in West and what Walmart was doing. Some people have copied that, and we have Ola in India, and then we have Flipkart like that. So because West are still moving ahead, and we are lagging like Asian countries, some of like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. So can we follow that so that we can capture at least for 5 to 10 years? Dr. Hans.
I think I did not get your question. My apologies. Can you say it again? I did not get your question.
Yeah, my question is related to the trend, global trend. What I observed is something going in US or Europe, since they are a developed country and they are at least 5 years, 10 years ahead. people are seeing the trend and copying in the underdeveloped country. Like what Uber did in US 10 years before, Ola did in India.
Yeah.
Similarly, what Amazon was doing in your US, same thing Flipkart was doing in India, but they are 10 years later. Now the trends are picking and people are taking. So can we take the clue from the global developed countries entrepreneur and we can copy here, which is not yet established?
I understand correct. India, you're not, I first understood Kenya and I was surprised. You're talking about India right now, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
My first answer is when you say developing countries and developed countries, we don't use this term anymore because it is not the right term to do it. We are talking about the global north and the global south. And in this, with the global north and global south, we are experiencing a bilateral and economic integration development within global north and global south, and also within global north and global south. For example, the development of the activities of China in sub-Saharan regions. So meaning I don't think that to transfer concepts from one country to another country, and as you said, from the so-called developed countries, let's take the US, to transfer concepts from the US or from Germany to Pakistan or to Thailand, this might be less likely a solution because the attitudes and aspirations of the population and the entrepreneurs therein are different, and the framework conditions for entrepreneurs are different. Meaning, just to transfer and say, Thailand should do what the US is doing, or Thailand should do what, this is not a solution for Thailand. I wouldn't dare yet to talk about Pakistan here in this aspect because I need to look into data in Pakistan. But for example, I cannot recommend Thailand to follow the entrepreneurial development, the development of entrepreneurship in the United States, or the development of entrepreneurship in Northern Europe, Northwestern Europe, to do this in Thailand. So we need a Thai way in Thailand because we need to keep up this momentum that half of the population is engaged in entrepreneurial activity, that this is a desired career choice, that entrepreneurs are a role model. So we don't want to have a situation, or if we have, I don't want to be political, if we have a situation of the concept of US corporates or the concept of Chinese dynastic corporate culture, then this will not help Thailand, because we will then have a decrease of entrepreneurs. What do we do with the people? And we can see a trend in China. China is supporting entrepreneurship and development now. Brunei, which was not thinking about this, is doing this. My wife is currently advising the Jordan team because Jordan want to develop more entrepreneurial activities. So I think entrepreneurship on the level of Pakistan, but this is an assumption not proven by data, is which need to be created in Karachi for Karachi, and Lahore for Lahore, and in Punjab for Punjab, and not copying something. I'm not sure whether this is a solution.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please.
Nadeem, let me tell you something. You see, entrepreneurs love challenges. You have a set of challenges within your own environment. We being trying to become entrepreneurs, you should always be looking at the local environment and a macro level situation also.
Yeah.
I mean, I love what is happening in Pakistan, although the whole world would say we are in a chaos, but this chaos creates a lot of potential underneath. And we love it because you see, I'm in the energy sector. I'm doing. We have the freedom also to think what Americans cannot think. You will be surprised, and you should never compete with Americans, or I never would like to copy anybody, because I try to create my own solutions. I try to create my own philosophies out of learning from good, people. Let me give you a simple example. When I talked about the niche, I'm talking about organic food. You know, from whom did I learn organic food? There's a doctor in India named Dr. Vandana Shiva. Now, she is a global activist on organic food. Why should I be learning? Although I learned from American scientists also, the soil scientists, but she created that energy in me to learn more because she was talking sense. And then she took me to a plant pathologist in Japan, because it is not something which is Americans will do the best. You have to look at the global level, who is the best one to, and that might be in your own city or in your own country. I mean, sitting in Pakistan, but I've got learned so much from Dr. Vandana Shiva, and she has got a seed bank of organic seeds in Dehradun. So I learned from her. And learning about the organic farming, I learned from the philosophy of Masanobu Fukuoka, who was a Japanese plant pathologist. And he taught what the pathology of the plants is all about, how to create nutrients out of whatever we produce. That is what the knowledge base is. If that is what I was telling Ikra, that if you try to, on a surface, if you try to find out what is the trend, you will not be able to sustainably get into those areas because you don't have the knowledge base. And unfortunate part is that most of the people in today's world, they go for information. They don't go for the knowledge. Let me tell you, and it is a very beautiful situation, that Google can be your best friend in getting you to the right knowledge, to the people who have got the right knowledge, if you know what to ask Google. And it could be your enemy number one to connect you with the wrong people. I mean, I've got, the algorithm knows you better than anybody else in the world, because they know exactly. I was following Turkish Zeynep Tofiki. She's in the computer science and IT, and she said that when you type some question on Google, that remains in the memory of Google or the system. And sorry, because
yeah, this is because we are based on models and based on algorithm, and this is on the one hand the power. Look how fast you get information, but also it's clear that information is directed to you based on your profile, and that means in Google times we had to know how to search for the content and evaluate the content. And in now AI-based search engines, we need to know the right prompt. And with the right prompt, we get information. And if we don't have a prompt, and if we don't learn the workflow, how to prompt these systems, then it will be difficult. This leads to the question which I saw in the chat about the gig platforms, the gig economy, and a very important economy, and an economy which gives a lot of opportunities also to individuals to start a business and be an entrepreneur. So beside franchisor and franchisee, also franchise concept, we have with the gig economy an interesting new market. There is a report on this, on the gig economy in more than 100 economies in the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor. We will share this with you. So yes, also for sub-Saharan area, it is the problem there is maybe a different one, but this is a very complex topic. There is one part here where Effectuation says the experiment using controlled risk instead detailed market research. Yeah, it is what we are doing in entrepreneurship education. There are four elements: create, and these are the elements for you as entrepreneurs as well. Create, experiment, play, and empathy. And this is all centered around self-evaluation. So that's the model. So you can see when we experiment, it is not having data research, and that leads to the beginning of our session. We are not writing business plans of 100 pages. We are writing a concept, let's say on 6 pages, or we are doing business plans nowadays, complete business plans on 2 to 3 pages. Happy to share a template for it with you. So this is how we do this today. And the key is we are not creating a business plan and then we are executing the business plan. What we are doing is, also this I can quickly share. We are doing, no, this one, where is it? Hi, stop, this is the wrong one. Sorry. Where is it? The entrepreneurship, is my slide deck? No, my slide deck is gone. I think they don't like me anymore here. What is it? Here it is. So let me go to this lead. There is no one. We have two concepts. And these are and both have their part. So here it is. So here you have the model of prediction. You have a goal, and you just keep on going to the goal. You stay. You have a plan, and you get back on plan. Here is profound data research and all this. The other part is you have a goal, and yeah, you deviate because you're not having the plan, but you are always staying on the target. Both models are models which call prediction. And the opposite of it is the model of creation. How does this work? You start, you have a kind of goal, and you get to a point where you question and you define a new goal. Hopefully you don't push the bar lower. And you walk and you realize, no, I can't do it. And you need to embark others on your journey. And thus you come to a result. So look how different these two concepts look like: the concept of prediction, business plan writing, target descriptions, profound market research, and versus the concept of creation. So how does this work when this way of prediction is think and analyze, while the effectuation or the creation is to act and create? It's more the experiment. So what happens when you have an obstacle in your way? Well, when you encounter an obstacle, then this happens. With creation, you have the opportunity, because you're not fixed on one goal and one target. You are willing to adjust, meaning when you are not doing the profound market research, that was the question in the chat, when you're not doing this, it does not mean that you don't do any market research or data research. And you have a constant way of developing it. But these are different. So now to summarize this, prediction, just to think and analyze, that works fantastic in the brick factory, where we have data in the past and we can predict what happens. So it's an inductive and deductive logic. We can apply mathematic tools. We even can apply the rule of thumbs. We have a core logic in our business. When we do, when the market changes constantly, well, then we need to act and we need to create. So the future cannot be predicted. This is today, in today's world, most in most instances the case. So this is favored when it comes to a situation where you can't predict the future and where you are constant change in front of you. So you have smart action, which trumps the analysis. So this is the answer to the question in the chat. And now to look at this from a prediction, this leads to the question, well, I have an idea. Do I need to look at the market? Prediction is I have a great product. I definitely want this product. And I go to the customer and this customer will buy my product. While creation is, I have a great product idea. I go to the customer and apply the effectual ask, and I explore with observation, without judgment, a splendid product, which I can do. So meaning to say it, I don't want to go into this. I just want to go to, no, that's the end of the story. So these are two different ways of doing it. And there is not one right or wrong way, but to apply both strategies, both concepts at the right time. And this is entrepreneurship. Applies, it's very easy. I said this when I took over the company, which did losses. You know, in the 100-year speech, I didn't know I was 26 years old. And so I had to give the 100-year speech, 500 guests, and I didn't know what to say. So I asked my mom, and said, can you write me my speech? And she said, yeah, that's easy. So you will blah, blah, what was in the past, long part. And then I said in the end what my mom wrote me. That was, for the future, it's easy. The right product at the right time, at the right price. Thank you. So, you know, that's it. So in the end, we should not always think about the problems. We should think really about our mindset to check where are we now, to define where do we want to go, and then to work our pathway with effectuation in an aligned structure. That's how you will be successful, and you will be successful. Your face is on the screen, and your discussion here proves that this is a great class. Sadly, I'm not in Pakistan. Sadly.
Thank you, Hans. Look at this brave people. This Mukarram, you know, this old man, he's the friend of my dad. He's part of the course.
Your dad is in the memory of Uli, because he influenced Uli in her thoughts about the Quran, and the Quran is, by the way, a book which I use in business law as well, because we have different law systems. So I'm teaching in business law not only the civil law and common law. I also teach I'm not teaching, no way, I cannot teach the Quran, but I'm also referring to the Quran. So and this has to do with a lot of mutual respect. And I'm not a Muslim, yet I appreciate that I was with Dr. Shahid, and that I was allowed to be in the mosque and to pray and to have this intensive feeling what this means. And I never forget this.
He was in Karachi with me, and he said he heard the word Adhan, and he and his wife said, we want to pray.
Yeah.
So, the mosque, and they said the mosque with us, mashallah.
Yeah.
And you see, Hans experienced sport multiple times in his life. He is a mountaineer. He's a sportsman, and he couldn't talk about that, but maybe we can invite him again. And then he really experienced God in the past few months, is it? He went through a very, very interesting adventure in his life.
What do you mean, Dr. Shahid?
You just experienced God, means you were hospitalized, and you went through that medical treatment, and God gave you.
This is, there are situations in life I'm willing to share very briefly. On 18 April 2012, a doctor said to me, I cannot do anything for you anymore. So I asked for my life expectation, and he said weeks, maybe 1 month. So I went through treatments and stem cell treatment and chemotherapies for years. And then suddenly it did not work anymore in December 2022. And so we tried everything else. And in May last year, it was the point where the doctors in Thailand said, you are now going the pathway to the hospice. And then the professor in Thailand phoned me up and said, you come immediately and you need CAR-T treatment, which is not allowed in Thailand yet due to our belief system, because it's genetic manipulation, and this is the contrary of the Buddhist teachings. And so I went to Germany for this treatment, for this CAR treatment, and the doctors, after 150 days, they said, we didn't want to tell you in which constitution you have been when you were admitted 150 days ago. You were days before complete organ failure and the complete collapse of your complete skeleton. So as you can see, to me, so Dr. Shahid, unusual, I don't share this. I'm happy to do this in this wonderful group of people. This was disruptive to me. This brought me into education, by the way, because it became more important than chasing money and sharing experience. But there was one teaching: never lose hope. And with the help of God and the help of my wife Uli and the help of a good doctor team, things are possible which you can't think of. And when I said to my doctors, so when it comes back, what do we do? And the answer was, we don't know yet. The only thing we know is we will not do the same what we are doing now, because the development is so fast. It is the unknown. And so that's what it is about. It is about to have a clear pathway and have values and beliefs, which leaves you running, which determines your mindset. Your mindset determines your behavior, and thus it is the outcome. And that's the good news. The good news is that mindset-driven behavior is more likely resulting in favorable results to create social and economic value, and beliefs and values are driving the mindset. The beliefs and values are driving empathetic leadership, and thus we are more successful in business and in life.
Great. So Hans, thank you very much. He became our friend multiple times visiting Pakistan. And Moses, are you there? Moses, Dr. Moses is professor of entrepreneurship from Kenya, and we met him, and I'm thankful to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi. Thanks, Professor Shahidi, and also thanks to Hans. It was a very captivating session. I liked it, especially when you emphasize that entrepreneurship, depends on the particular environment, and that's why we have the entrepreneurship ecosystem. Yeah. We cannot be able to be adopting those particular models from the north. Yeah. Especially in Africa, we have been aping those particular models. Yeah. And to some extent, they don't work successfully. And that's why you not be able to see most of the entrepreneurs emerging. And I'm very, very happy with one of the participants who has been saying that it's good to have that entrepreneurial mindset that is quite different, that is based on that entrepreneurship ecosystem. So in Africa, I'm a lecturer. I'm an academic in a public university. So basically, I teach entrepreneurship, and mostly we emphasize on how to nurture that entrepreneurship based on our ecosystem. So basically, I like your sessions, quite an eye opener. Thank you very much, Hans. Thank you.
Where are you from? Where are you based?
I'm based in Kenya.
In Kenya.
Yeah, well, Kenya is in East Africa.
What the world is not aware of is one thing. If you take Africa, you fit in China you fit in India, you fit in North
Sure.
America, you fit in Western Europe, and even you need
Sure.
some countries, and then you know how big Africa is. And
Sure.
it was a bit a lost continent by the behavior of North America, of the Americas, South America, North America, Europe, and Asia, and I hope that not the colonialization by China will now, but I'm careful. I have to be careful to say this, but
Sure.
I hope that this will not end up in a similar situation as we have seen in India. So I hope that the mindset of the people will create an entrepreneurial solution to their country and their region.
Thank you very much. So you look at your people were so enthusiastic. There were some young baby girls. Ikram, is that baby girl? She's still listening? She's listening to your speech, ma'am?
Yeah, I saw.
What is
She is my niece, actually.
we have as young people as this baby. She's continuously sitting here, man. Wow.
Well, you got a pretty early admission in your courses. I'm surprised.
And then we have Mr. Ali, he's my dad's friend. And we have people, Sajid Hussain from Germany. We have from Egypt. What a beautiful star. And Somalia, my friend from Somalia. And this young man, Hamid Wakar, is a crazy person, keeps on asking good questions and so on and so forth. Many women. And it was great learning. And we hope to see you soon and in Pakistan as well. I wish that Hans gets 100%, 110% healthy, strong.
Oh, yeah.
God bless him. Bilal Sahib, are you there? Bilal Sahib? Bilal Sahib is left. Bilal Sahib is a very interesting person. So once again, sir, thank you very much, Hans. Say my regards to Uli.
And what we are saying in when we meet here with friends, we are always saying happy to meet, sorry to part, happy to meet again. So I shout out to you guys, happy to meet, sorry to part, happy to meet again. Salam alaikum, sawadee.
Walaikum salam. Thanks.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Hans, for your
Thank you
insight.
so much, sir.
Okay, Jazakallah, Jazakallah. And so I'll be ending the meeting. Make our blessing.